everyone. French Vinyl once again, and we are live. Welcome to the show. Welcome to no one. Since we have one person, one people. So welcome whenever you are. So yeah, we are back after a little bit of a break, so to say. Break, live stream break. I mean, it was pretty much so. When I'm looking back. We had a break, the French speaking channel, myself um, and Study. We are happy, we host like we host a host a live stream like every week. We had a break because of then Bosch. Lots of people went back to biggest world probably world record show. So and if you haven't watched, David Atkinson's made a pretty good idea. It gives like a very nice overview about what is it when he shows that it's like a travel log. It doesn't only show the fair itself, but the trip also surrounding with that, when they were like they traveled by car through France and Belgium. So gives a very nice perspective about what his trip is all about. So yeah, I had a break because I think last Sunday we didn't host any live stream since Den Bosch was pretty busy, finding some new stuff there, as sorry, as they took a trip from Sweden to Den Bosch as well. And yeah, so thank you once again for the very nice feedbacks, comments I received after this epic marathon, long, all through the night, stream, which I did host on this very channel. Was 4 weeks ago, something, or three weeks ago. Don't even remember. Times flies. So yeah, it was a very good experience and a success. I had all my VC friends, not all my VC friends, but almost all the lots of people I'm connect. I have great connection with. We support like each ourselves. So which is pretty cool. And as you probably have watched, they were like we were 14 people overall, not 14 people at the same time, but since I was like running for 10 hours, so this gave an opportunity to many of you, like Ben Rankings, Stanley, Mike, David Atkinson, to join the panel. And it was a success. It was really a success. I'm really glad. I was so freaking tired after this stream. Was like a little bit of a challenge, because I had an appointment. To tell you the truth, Sébastien, audio stop, record store, le disquaire. He was in town. He was in Montreal that weekend, and he was about to go to visit a pressing plant in Montreal, and he was asking myself, "Hey, do you want to join?" Say, of course. What is that schedule? And he said, it's on that Saturday right after your marathon stream. So didn't uh, didn't sleep a wink, nothing. And so yeah, we went like off to Drummondville. It was really interesting. Video on the Sébastien or record store, audio stop, le disquaire. So yeah, he made several documentaries or reportage, how we say in France, not only there in Drummond vinyl, which is pretty interesting. A new pressing plant, a new. I think they started 2 years ago, something, and they have like two machines to press, and they explain the whole, what they do down there. And but he also, I think, on the same weekend, he arranged an appointment with with a guy. They do like mastering, lacquer cut, so so pretty interesting, really cool. So it was a very long weekend, And on top of that, on that Sunday, the next day, I had the stream with Study. So crazy weekend for 3 weeks. Yeah. Don't even remember, but it doesn't really matter. Was a great pleasure. Yeah, this 10 hours live stream. I will really, yeah, I will never forget about that. It was like a very yeah, after 2 years, it's not about the numbers. You really, so to say, we often have some as a matrix. The figures. The subs, the views. Which counts maybe, but at the end of the day, it's really the interactions. My opinion, we have with people. After 2 years, not bad to have lots of VC friends I can talk with daily on the network, on this WhatsApp, messenger service we use, mainly Europe and pretty much everywhere except here Canada for some reason, but yeah. And not bad, having a chance to meet in real life, people like I did last year, here in Montreal. Came Steve. I was about to mention his previous channel, but A for Alice, B for Bob, C is for. He came over to spend a weekend with his wife, I think, last October, and we met up with Steve, Dom, seeking a thread as well, and yeah, had some great opportunities to meet up with Brian and Brianic Robots like several times in his garden, in his backyard in Toronto. Pretty interesting every time. Ben Rankings came over here. I took my trip to Den Bosch last November, not like the last sessions which took place last weekend, but last November. How amazing experience! So yeah, pretty happy with all of that. So you start to know bringing people together is like a second nature to me. I was talking about several friends like behind the scene earlier this week, and probably some of them will be joining the panel. Who knows? We'll see where it be ending up. But I will be putting the link, the magic link the magic, the link in the chat. So if anyone wants to join, hop on. I see we have two people in the chat. Maybe not the right day, just before this long Easter holiday. I really have no idea how is it. No, tomorrow is a lots of people will have a day off, I guess, for Easter. Some people we have Monday, so it's we are about to enjoy pretty much a long weekend for Easter, and so yeah, with let's see where it ends up. So welcome the Mr. or Mrs. Third person in the panel. I see. I still don't have any comments in the chat, so I guess it works. Can you hear me? If someone can confirm that everyone works loud and clear, yeah, probably. If you hear a strange accent, it's pretty much normal. No, nothing to worry about. But yeah, if anyone can confirm, it works. So yeah, we will be maybe covering several topics tonight or today, depending upon where you are. I know for my friend in Australia, it's already tomorrow. It's already Friday, mid morning something. So over here, it's 9 p.m. 9 p.m. on the Eastern time zone. So as I said, so we had yes, maybe rediscovering some stuff we do have in the collection. Maybe if anyone wants to join, I know they were like RSD. I didn't follow just to be fair with you guys. I was like really busy with other stuffs in my life, so I didn't have a chance or didn't manage to have some time to go to local stores over here in Montreal. Yeah, last weekend was really like really busy. I think I did yeah, I post a live stream. Yeah, I host a live stream. I did host a live stream on the German speaking panel, on the German speaking channel that I do have last weekend, exactly when the Bosch and the RSD took place, which yeah, which was like really really interesting. We had like yeah, three people in the chat by the time we were like on air. And after people like were like catching up, like later, so it was like a success, but a little bit shifted, so doesn't really matter. So and yeah, I did practically the same stuff as I do over here. So yeah, sorry about that. Yes, I think I started to have some allergy because of pollen or some dust particles. Pretty weird. Over here, the weather is pretty strange. I have to say, I have to confess. In Montreal, I often say that April is like a transition month. It's like winter is not over. Sometimes we have really beautiful days like 60, 64 F something, and the next day we have snow. We have 30, 36 or 38 something. So yeah, 2 or 4 the degree C, and yeah, it's really really strange. So I often try, to pick up the right day when it comes to going to shopping. Or but yeah, as I said, no RSD for myself. Oh, hello sir, welcome on board, Mike Spins. Yep, exactly. And I have a fun story with that cover behind myself. That's a French pressing of this album, released in 1975, and pretty much early Scorpions. And yeah, I have to make sure of that point because I know they're in here over here in America. They went big like in '82, I think, onwards with their Blackout album, I think. Yeah. And but they had a long career. Like it wasn't even the beginning of Scorpions. It's in '82. They started in '65. They were like a high school band, and 10 years after, 75, they had released their third album, which is In Trance. And the first time I heard In Trance was in that store in Switzerland. I used to go to Schmockies in Basel, and I blew my mind, so to say, really blew my mind. So, but I didn't buy a copy for some reason. Just bought a CD, and I bought this very copy many years after, and I saw him as well. Uli Roth. He was still part of the band. Uli Roth was like a really wizard, as you say, like a crazy, like really Hendrix, nerd. Probably more like we often mention Stevie Ray Vaughan on those people, but here Uli Roth was really 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 crazy about his style. He didn't date Monica Danman, so to say. He was dating her, the ex girlfriend of Jimi Hendrix. So he went that far. And yeah, he left Scorpions after the Tokyo Tapes live album was released, 78 something, and he had several projects, Electric Sun, and he played in a small venue. Back in the day, I was still living in France. I moved to Canada in 2022, yeah, but in 2019, he played in a small venue in Colmar called what do I say, Colmar with the correct accent, in Colmar, called Le Grillen. And yeah, I brought this copy, and it was really nice. He spent like 1 hour with us, talking with us, making selfies, the usual stuff. And he was like signing all my copies. So this is an album I have. Yeah, it's signed. There is also the CD cover of the Fly to the Rainbow, which also signed. Really nice guy, really cool. Yeah, Love Drive. That's their. I think that's their last. Yeah, I would say I call this first era of Scorpions for many many reasons. Since they they changed a little bit their sound. When Uli Roth left, they hired this young guitarist, 23 years old, called Matthias Japs. Yeah, and then they were trying to yeah, they evolved with their sound, so to say. And Love Drive was the one. I think the last, not the last, was the next. I think I don't even remember. I know Love Drive it was dropped, and they released Animal Magnetism, which was the last album since the singer lost his didn't lost his vocal abilities. Yeah, he had to undergo under a surgery, so he was like really afraid, will he be lost his voice, so he was like concerned. And I think during a year couldn't even talk. It was really like a very hard time for him. But after 1 year, recovering, and he trained again, and they came back with Blackout. Yeah, that's crazy. And I discovered the Blackout '82 album when I was kid. My father, he used to have the cassette. Was playing whenever he drove me to go to the soccer training. He had his cassette Blackout with Dynamite, with when the smoke is going down, ending. Really grew up with this band. Really, really, I'm still now. It's not something I listen to every day, to be fair, but yeah, it's still part of my not DNA, but my background, I guess. Yeah, that's right. And he had also some issues with the drummer Herman Rarbel. It wasn't really on the same page, I think. So yeah, I think he made the right decision. Even though after that they went like really big. They really big because at the time he left, they were famous in Germany, in France. They actually played their first gig outside of Germany in the city where I grew up. My father had a chance to see them live, but for some reason he didn't manage to get a ticket or something. They played in Mulhouse, and they also played in Belgium, of course, because they had this drummer called Rudy Lenners. He was from Belgium, I think, on this album. And after they went to Japan. This was way before they went big in the US. But it's fine. It's funny because now on the classic rock radio station, we keep on listening to listening. Yeah, they keep on playing. Blackout, rock you like a hurricane, which is on the '84 album, Love at First Sting. And some people always say early Scorpions, and it makes me laugh because now in 80 '84 it wasn't early Scorpions. In '84 they already had almost 20 years of career behind them. So, but different perspective, I guess. Yeah. Where are you from, Mike Spins? Where are you located? I think I already saw you comment on several live stream, VC live stream, but I don't really yeah, not really. Do you have a channel, or where you just for the record, if you don't want to answer, no worries. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I had the DVD of that concert. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I think Judas Priest played also on that one. Was it like very first time Bruce Dickinson was joined Iron Maiden, I think. And yet it's a crazy 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 gig. I think on the early years DVD of Iron Maiden, they mentioned this event, this gig. Yeah, when they were like playing together with Blackout, with Scorpions, and with Priest. Oh, Wisconsin. Hello, Wisconsin. Okay, nice. Welcome on board. So yeah, I'm just putting a link into the chat if anyone wants to join the panel. Join the panel. Join the panel. No worries about. No worries. It's what it's made for. Really like this live stream. With the StreamYard. Sorry, keep on repeating myself, but it's so nice to have this tool, this function where we can actually chat together. Was a really deal changer when I talk with my friend Fred, for instance, or other people. They've been here for forever, 15 or let's say 10 years. Sorry, at least. And yeah, it was really what back then was really way different from now. Now we can have this. It's a free software, it's really cool, and I really enjoy that. And this is the channel's philosophy, as you know, or I don't know how experienced you guys are with my channel, but this is pretty much, yeah, the aim, doing live streams with not only talking, on my own for 5 hours, it doesn't, to me, it's not as I see things, it's more like exchanging. Hey, this is the link. I know and some people are really shy, to show their face, or they prefer to participate, and it's fair enough. But it's really cool when you can interact, with some people. Okay, little foreign, D Snyder, D Snyder, it's crazy. When I think about it, D Snyder, he was born in 55, just like my father, and he still is pretty active. Yeah, I remember about his speech, in when there were this case, with I think it was Nancy Reagan, that it started this old stuff in the 80s where they had to explain or almost to apologize for the influence they had on the young people was really crazy. And I remember his speech. Very clever person, this Snyder. And yeah, it's a long time no listen to those stuff. I had all this stuff on CD or on cassette back in the day, but I don't really don't really kept the greatest portion of it. I had to make choice when you move, when you change countries, when you change continent. You have to, yeah, you have to make choices. You cannot really keep everything, ship everything. It's costs lots of money. So all the CDs I have, yeah, I give some friends, but I used to have some early 80s metal hair band, but yeah. And I remember 10 or 12 years ago when I was starting, not 12, not maybe, let's say 6 or 7 years ago, back in the days when I was still living in France, when I was like going to the record show like every weekend, or at least where they were like a record show, being held in my hometown, very close to Germany. I remember we could still buy some stuff for very very cheap. Germany has lots of pressing plants, and it's still incredible today when you think about that. All this Vertigo, swirl, expensive stuff. You won't have a chance to find an OG. At least you pay fortune. Yeah, back in the day in Germany, they had those channels of release, which is pretty convenient. So I could buy, yeah, back in the day, I could buy some great stuff for the third of the price. German pressing that I would have paid if those were like UK, first swirl where you whatever. So, and yeah, this is also one of the reason I think it's Den Bosch is worth the trip. Still, for us, we in North America, I mean, we some guy I know, Jason Roxas. He was asking me prior. We were like on in the chat. Ian, Ranking the Obscure, great guy, great channel. They host their weekly live stream on Thursday. That's the UK vinyl community. Great guys. Mike's Vinyl Spiral, Nick's Vinyl Buddy is always a great panelist. And yeah, Jason rocks us. We were talking about Den Bosch because Rob Walker was at the time was on screen sharing with us his experience. And yeah, he were Jason. He was asking me if I will go to WFMU. I don't know. I have no freaking idea, and I'm not talking about political because here in Canada, it's I'm not even talking about that. But I'm just don't know. And there is this other fair in Austin, Texas, which takes place when don't even know. But yeah, when I talked with people, they know about Den Bosch in the Netherlands and Europe, and it's had nothing to do. So size wise, the Den Bosch is at least 700 booth, 700 sellers, huge, really huge. Don't even know how many stands, how many booths are in WFMU. Don't even know. Okay, it's a little bit different because next week I think there will be this small show over here in Montreal, and you spend like 4 or 5 hours something, maybe half of the day. It's not the same in Den Bosch. You travel there, you stay there, you have your accommodation, your Airbnb or a hotel or whatever. So you really stay there. You meet up with friends, and you can spend literally like 4 days. So it's not the same. It's like really going on to me, in my job, sometimes I had to travel. We have some exhibition, trade show, and it's the same feeling. It's really the same feeling. You are in a hotel, you with your customer or with your rep. At the end of the day, you share a drink. It's like conferences during the day. You're at the booth, showing products. Or services, whatever you're into, and yeah, when I was in Den Bosch last November, it reminded me as sort of a bit of this feeling I do have whenever I travel for my work for my job. Yeah. So yeah, this is the link. How about that? Just having a fancy beer, a little craft beer, Thursday evening. And yeah, I have a couple of records to show. Maybe I will be waiting that more people will come, maybe on screen or in the chat. Yeah, recently I made a video about folk. Yeah, folk, and it's weird because it didn't get lots of views, and it's not the aim. Wasn't intended to get like 1,000 views. But it's weird. I have some interesting comments from people I never see on my channel. It's like this genre. Sorry about that. It's like this genre, and I say genre, not Jean. Mon frère, Alex. Shout out to Alex Beer and Vinyl who made a great video. Really, my favorite video so far about RSD. Really interesting. He very eclectic, goes in every possible direction. Jazz, rock, this progressive pop album he found from Peru, not from Peru, from Chile. If you haven't seen Alex, and congrats to my mate Alex. He reached the 1K subs mark. So Alex Beer and Vinyl, that's the name of the channel. Go and check it out if you haven't done yet. So yeah, back to the topic. Yeah, folk. Yeah, I am under the impression that this is not something like really popular. Maybe not in the VC. The way we know some channel are really doing really great. Talking about Americana, country, western, folk, all mixed up. But when you use the word folk, it's kind of weird. It's not weird. I would say it's not like as popular in a VC as when you say this is a heavy blues, psych, a rabbit hole, which I'm also I've been delving into for years, by the way. But it's not doesn't get the same attention. But oddly, the people who comment. So yeah, that's the bottom line. I had less people who were like watching this video, but maybe more people were like commenting, adding more relevant topics to the table, some details I had forgotten. So just tell me what is your feeling about folk? Is it something like, not for me, or because it reminds you maybe Hank Williams or or stuff, with fiddle, like Irish stuff, not my jam, or is it something? I don't know. Depending upon, is it prog folk? Is it folk elements blended into something different, pop? I don't know. Really don't know. Would love to hear about your opinion. Maybe also the people who will be watching a little bit later this stream. Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, well, okay. I'm starting to show the first album. Maybe, well, some people will come to the show. Yeah, I did, as I said, this video about folk, and clearly made me wanna gave me the opportunity to rediscover. We often talk about, this the fact that we buy records, we show records on our channel, and we are in. I'm under influence, definitely. I lost counting how many records I bought last year because my VC friends showed me that. So I just took a little bit of note on a piece of paper, and 4 months or 5 months later, I just had an opportunity to source it locally. This is how it works, the community. But rediscovering, hey, why not too bad, Mr. Disco Devil? Yeah, really cool. As I said, this is a magic link. So yeah, folk music. So which maybe not doesn't appeal to a disco nerd, but yeah, this album. I'm under the impression that those lots of people that are not folk nerds, they never talk about folk on their channels. They know about this band, and they know Fairport Convention. They know what they brought back in the day. They know what they were capable of. They were responsible of. Blurring the line between folk and rock, turning the rock generation into folk, like flagship band, revival of British folk music in the 60s. A masterpiece, by the way. Really love this album. It has pretty much everything that I like when it comes to this genre, this era. You know, nothing wrong with the incredible voice of Sandy Denny. This like rhythm, when you listen to Matty Gross, for instance. Richard Thompson was still in the band back in the day. They just hired, not Martin Lemble. He sadly passed away. Um, Dave Matax, Dave Swarbrick on the fiddle. How amazing! How about that? How about that? And okay, since I have someone from Quebec, I'm switching the topic. Okay, I'm switching the topic. I was about to mention the band you are talking about, Julie. Exactly. Yeah. A perfect transition. Okay, so this stack of English folk stuff will be put on the side, and okay, we have to please the audience. We have to please the audience. I totally agree. Beaudommage, yeah, I happened to find their first album, Beaudommage. Incredible. Yeah, Julie, you're totally right. I made a post on my channel because this week, April 15, marks the 50th anniversary of the release of a very important album here in Quebec. Here in Quebec, in Montreal specifically, but in Quebec City as well, or in Saguenay up north. Yeah, pretty much to some extent too. Um, Genesis had some huge success. So people embraced this culture, and some bands were like trying to do their own way of progressive rock with pastoral like element. And yeah, as I said, April 15th, 1975, so 50 years ago, was released this one, this album. Very, as I said, very important, uh, beautiful album. I happened to listen to this one like several time this week. This is Harmonium. Just as the comment, I'm just highlighting. This is the name of the band. Okay, Harmonium, and it has everything I do like. This is a mid 70s. Yeah, April 1575. So mid 70s folk like progressive rock album with folk pastoral like elements. It has some crazy flute. This guy, the only one guy who had a Mellotron. He bought a Mellotron from London, which was cheap, by boat by ship. Just get it there just right at the right time when they were about to record this album. So crazy album, Harmonium, and so the second album. And if you want a big picture, this is their debut album, like really folky. This one really cool. They had a success in a Saint Jean Festival, 73, secured a record deal, and made this one and the other one. Hey, we have someone in the chat, or in the not in the chat, in the backstage. Welcome on board, sir.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Yeah, too. How are
I've got
you?
a bit of an echo here. I'm not sure
Okay.
why I got an echo, so I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't have any. I use ears so to avoid the sound coming back into the mic. So hold a sec. I will try to do something. To me, it's now. Now, okay. I just take that echo cancellation box, which should help.
Yeah, I'm looking at my setup here too. I don't hear it much anymore.
Yeah, I know
I
some
had a
some
big
people.
record store day, camped
Oh,
out overnight,
okay,
all night long.
perfect. Did you do you have a channel, by the way?
Yeah, my channel's Mike Spins.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, lots of people to follow. It's I'm a little bit of an alien, in the violin community. I usually come from France. I moved to Canada. I have three channels: French speaking, English channel, this one, and a German speaking. So I have a lots of people to follow. It's much more complicated, to have this overview about what is going on, because there are now so many people out there. So sorry if I never came across your channel. So yeah, you were in the
I wish I could
RSD.
get rid of that echo. I'm not sure how to.
Yeah, so it's weird. Some people earlier this
It's got to be on my mic, on my end, I would say.
okay. I don't have any echo over here, so
Here we go. I keep on. Here we go. There we go. I bet is that better? There we go.
yep. I hope it is
Got it.
better for you. So
Can I show you what I got on Record Store Day?
absolutely, this is a channel where showing, talking about record is all about. Absolutely. So you were lining up right the entire night, right,
Yeah,
to be the
it's kind of
first.
a tradition. My buddy opened a record store here in town in 2009, and he's kind of my best friend. He opened a record store, started with just the records in his basement.
Hmm.
So I like to go and then hang out and camp out all night.
Okay, that's
I'm getting that echo again. I'm not sure why.
sorry once again.
Yeah. So this is what I got. I camped out in line. Now, of course, the girls were after the Wicked soundtrack. That one went real quick. I needed to get the Prince live at
Hmm.
Glam Slam. This is a really nice set,
Yep.
but this is live and it's all the Diamonds and Pearls songs.
What
So I got
year?
that.
What year was the gig?
92. This
92.
was
Okay.
1992. And supposedly Prince played until 1 o'clock in the morning, and then the cops showed up. There's a curfew, and they shut the show down.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Do you
I
have
wonder if I'm just
more?
not caught up with.
Do you have
I've
more?
also
Yeah.
got the Jazz Dispensary.
Yeah.
They
The
put
one.
one of these out every record store day,
Yeah.
and I'm not a jazz guy at all. I'm more of a heavy metal. I'm a metalhead. But about 10 years ago, I get one of these, the Jazz Dispensary, that funk jazz, and it's just when you want to get into a mellow mood or
Okay. Yeah.
for a change of pace, a little Jazz Dispensary.
What kind is that for a jazz? Because
And then this one was really a surprise. I learned about this from Round Records. This was Mathematics, Wu Tang. This is Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman.
Mhm.
Now they did 5,000 of these. Every single one has a unique cover.
Okay. Yeah.
Every single one of them. So these became collector's items really quick.
And I was asking you about this jazz record. What kind of jazz is that? The
Okay.
previous record, just for my
Yep. Yep.
understanding.
Now
Yeah.
this one I would say is um, straight up jazz. Most of them are funk, jazz fusion or funk, jazz funk. I've got,
Okay.
let me show
Some
you these.
something a la Mahavishnu Orchestra, perhaps. No,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just
I
asking.
wish I
I've
could hear
never.
that
Yeah.
echo because I
Okay.
can't really hear when you're asking me questions. But most of the jazz dispensary are funky stuff like this one's super skunk, and then like moon rock or the dank D funk blend volume 2. Really funky jazz.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
But the latest one is straight up mellow jazz. I need to figure out that echo
Yeah. Don't
so I
have
can
any.
enjoy the show. I don't know if the echo is bothering everybody that's watching.
Uh,
I can't
maybe
really see the chat, so I don't know.
maybe I can ask the people. We have 7 people. I don't have any echo on my end.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
As I said, to me, it's quite impossible. It's not. It's not impossible, but I use ears. Usually, it's when the sound of the speakers, they like fitting back into the mic, which cannot really happen since
Hmm,
So
good.
yeah, but yeah, jazz, funk fusion. As I said, Mahavishnu Orchestra. That's the kind of stuff I'm starting, to be more confident with. Um, they were like Chick Corea's project. I also grabbed a copy last year. This Return to Forever album. uh, which is well known, with that knight, medieval on the cover. But still, I still need to practice, I guess. I'm not an expert by any mean. That's why I like to ask people. I'm into rock, folk, prog. You're into in metal. Why do you choose this specific type of jazz? For me, it's interesting, to learn about why this one over another, why this subgenre of jazz. Just yeah.
The Jazz Dispensary ones are kind of a collection for me because they put them out every record store day and then every record store day Black Friday.
Okay.
So it
Yeah.
kind of they put out it kind of gave me something to camp out overnight for.
Hmm.
And I kind of started camping out overnight because I keep deer hunting. So, uh, are you in any newer bands like say, King Gizzard?
Tried. Yes, tried on the yeah on the on online to find, but it's like, where do we start? So many albums. So
With King Gizzard?
yep, yeah,
Let me show you where to start.
okay, yeah. What interested me, yeah, and because there when you go to the store, you
If
have
you like prog at all, this
yeah, I
one
do,
right here
yeah,
is called Polygondwanaland.
okay,
And it's their prog masterpiece. Actually, it's if you like Pink Floyd, King Crimson, um, this record right here, Polygondwanaland. Now, Gondwanaland was the continents before they broke up. So this takes us on a trip through time. It's really, start with this one, and if you'd like this, then King Gizzard will grab you. And King Gizzard, those guys do everything. They're a garage band, never played in a garage, is the way they describe themselves.
yeah,
And really an exciting band. And they might give you that. They gave me back my hunger for new music. When I heard this, it reminded me of the first time I heard The Wall.
okay,
I had headphones on, and I'm like, this is got to get into those guys.
which is
Check
not
them out.
my yeah, which is not my favorite era of Pink Floyd, I have to say. I prefer the metal, the early '70s, just before they went to record the Dark Side. But yeah, but King Crimson, Floyd is sounds like a good trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. That's all the records you got.
I've got every King Gizzard studio record, and they've got 26 different studio albums.
Yeah,
I've got a whole cube of just King Gizzard over there.
yeah,
Um, I discovered them during the pandemic, and so I just started.
yeah.
They were like Rush. I wanted to get all their albums, and then I didn't realize how many they made.
Yeah, they have the same issue wanted to start. It was like, hey, where do I start? There are so many, and all the cover like looks like not wait, the same a bit. So it's not that like they were a transition and an evolution, and so yeah, last summer I think I had made a playlist online, and I went to listen to a couple of tracks, but yeah,
Yep.
maybe what, but I
I'm
will
a Motorhead at heart. Probably the first band that I got into a lot and started following around was Ozzy. I got to see Ozzy in '81 in El Paso with Randy. Motorhead opened the show, and I hadn't even heard of Motorhead at the time. Then I got to see Ozzy, I don't know, 7 or 8 more times over his career. And so metal is my first love. But I love like UFO. I also like mixing good metal guitars with great keyboards and a great vocalist.
okay. If you like Motorhead, this is something like really weird, really obscure. This is the Hawkwind entourage, back in the day, and Lemmy does a serious job playing bass with that one. This is a crazy concept album, about some word, where the guy tried to find some jet, yeah, starfighter, and yeah,
Very
just
cool.
yeah, very yeah. So not a Motorhead fan myself, but what he did prior, like with the Hawkwind, the space rock band, and this one,
Yep.
I could only recommend.
You like
Y-
UFO at all?
Yeah, I was turned into, yeah, a little bit, yeah, because that
Yeah.
story, the brother Schenker, that they were two
Yeah.
brother, yeah, that story,
In and out
this
of the
young,
Scorpions. Yeah. Michael
uh,
was in and out of the Scorpions as a, yeah.
yeah. So I know a little bit, Doctor, this era, but I'm not really as when I was kid. I was not as nerd as I was with Scorpions. So I know a little bit of their stuff, but I don't have any album. But on vinyl, I mean, yeah. And yeah, so yeah, 81 was, I think, was the great time. Yeah, Randy Rhoads was still playing with him, I think.
Yeah. I got to
Yeah,
see Randy. He
yeah.
died about 6 months later. I got to see
Okay.
Bon Scott about 6 months before he died, too, on the Highway to Hell tour. ACDC opened for Molly Hatchet, opened for ACDC. And about
Wow.
6 months later, Bon died. We lost Bon.
Uh,
That was a hell of a show. That was a hell of a show.
I can imagine. Yeah, he
Yeah.
died. Bon Scott died February 1980, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the music I grew up with. Highway to Hell, Black. I was born in '86, so just to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
but those are the stuff I was like. Yeah, my father, he had all this stuff on vinyl, and I grew up listening to Motorhead a little bit, not that
Yeah.
much, but ACDC or Iron Maiden a little bit later as well. You
Yeah.
were mentioning Iron Maiden in the chat, I think.
Yeah. I got to
What?
see, well, when I saw Scorpions the first time, Maiden opened for him. And then when I saw Maiden in '85 and Twisted Sister opened for Maiden. The last time I saw Maiden was like 2016. They're still strong. They're still way strong.
Yeah. During the COVID, I read this autobiography he wrote, Bruce Dickinson, the leader of,
Yeah.
yeah, what a crazy life he had. It's incredible.
Yeah.
A lead frontman of a rock band. Uh, pl- um, um, how do you say that in English? He was the one who, a captain, on the plane. Oh,
Who would think a lead guitar or a lead singer could fly a plane?
yeah, fly a plane, and
It's true.
having gold medals on fencing. Incredible.
Yeah.
Everything he touches turns to gold. Yeah, it's it's uh, it's it's crazy, man. But my favorite era, it's not the stuff I'm currently into, but when I was kid, again, a number of the beast up until probably Seventh Son was something I was really really into. Fear of the Dark is also not bad. The last one before he left, but and I recently rediscovered the very first album with Paul Diano.
Yeah. He just passed away.
He just passed away. Yeah, yeah. Sadly, yeah. And there were this demo called the Soundhouse tapes, which is different versions from some tracks that as it appear on the debut album with Paul Diano. And yeah, so long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we lost. I guess Les Binks just died yesterday, the first drummer for Judas Priest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess he was 73. He died yesterday, I think. Les
Okay.
Binks. He was only on, I think, maybe the first two records.
Yeah, Rockarola and
Sad Wings.
Sad Wings. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Sad Wings. I still remember I was in high school. A buddy of mine brought Sad Wings the best me over to my house. And he goes, "Mike, you got to hear this."
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have an American pressing of Sad Wings on Janus label, and it's brilliant. It's simply brilliant. Yeah,
yeah,
I discovered Priest on the footage. There were this, on the internet. We are in North America, but now with with the internet, we have access to the documentary or footage of this the old British television program called the old great whistle test.
Okay, sure. I've heard of that.
Yeah, and that's how I discovered. I stumbled
Sure.
upon this video, and they were playing Rock'n'Rolla and Dreamer Deceiver on that show, and they were like very young. Rob Halford still had long blonde hair, dressed like a hippie, uh, way different from 2 years after. So
Rock and roll is not a bad record, really. It's not.
no, no, no,
I
yeah,
enjoy Deep Freeze.
run of
Oh,
the mill,
yeah,
run of the
I
mill.
have a good copy of Rock and Roller there. It's got some good songs on it.
Yeah, the run of the mill, which is almost
Oh,
prog.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Yeah, yeah. Man, I haven't listened to that for a long time, but I still remember. Yeah, rock and roll is still the only issue I have a French pressing, and the sound is so bad. It has been so badly mastered. It's really bad.
I think I have that same one. Let me see here.
That's
I think I have that same.
gold. The label is like blue, not navy blue, like sky blue, and with with
Mine
gold.
is Italy. No, mine's Italian, I guess.
Uh-huh.
It says Italy.
Okay. Can you show me
But
the label? Can you show me the label just to?
yeah, got that gold
Yeah,
label.
gold. It's the yeah. Okay. French pressing were the same. Yeah.
I also have. I thought this was kind of cool. I found somewhere it's like a 3-song EP,
Uh-huh.
which is a cool little EP. I thought
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
grab anything Judas Priest I can find. I found something really cool, Black Sabbath. Let me share with you real quick here. I like to buy things when I haven't seen them before. And I found this Black Sabbath comp. It's a German. Now that kind of looks like the inside of "We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll." They got the girl in the coffin.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, this is kind of a German comp, and it must have come out about 76 because it's got Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and that kind of stuff on it.
Yep.
Isn't that cool though?
It's really cool. Yeah. Probably one of my favorite albums, the Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Yep.
Still interesting. When you think about that, Rick Wakeman played with Sabbath. It's it's simply amazing. When you
Yep.
think about that, Rick Wakeman, the guy, the prog guy, played with I think
His son, Rick Wakeman's son, right now has got that Jazz Sabbath project going. Have you heard of Jazz Sabbath?
not
Oh,
really.
you
No.
got to check out Jazz Sabbath. What Rick Wakeman's son has done is he's gone back and re-recorded all Black Sabbath songs in
Okay.
a jazz fashion, and
Okay.
he re-released them under the guise of a band called Jazz Sabbath.
Okay. And that's Rick Wakeman's son
Yeah,
behind the project, or yeah, leading the project. Yeah.
yep.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Really cool. Yeah. Black Sabbath, Judas Priest. Yeah. It reminds me. Brings back lots of great memories, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Well, it's nice
Those were
visiting with you. I got to go let the cat in off the porch,
okay.
and we'll see. And I'll be checking you out. Look for you soon.
Thank
Maybe
you
I'll
very
come up
much
and
for
talk to you
coming on.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining. Pleasure. I will check on your channel, and really cool. Thank Mike. Take care.
Yeah. Have a great night.
You too. Take care. Thank you. Bye. Hey, how cool is that? A guy I never heard of. Just clicking on the link, joining my panel. So yeah, really cool. Really nice guy. Mike Spins. Yeah, I have to I have to check this channel. I never heard, but it sounds like um Yeah, really. Yeah, as I said, reminds me of lots of great memories. Those stuff. Is No, it's not new wave of British metal, definitely. And yep, really cool. Yeah, much appreciated. So yeah, Quebec. Back to the Quebec topic. Yeah, I really appreciated this rediscovering this album. 50 years, it's pretty amazing. But the scene is in Quebec was really like booming. I'm jumping back to the harmonium topic because Julie, that's because of you. Because you talk, but it's a brilliant transition you came up with, Julie. Brilliant. I was mentioning folk, and I was about, because I had my two stacks of records ready to show on screen. The first pretty much more British traditional folk, and yeah, I need to mention about harmonium. It's a must. They were so important, really so important. Um, and there were other, yeah, there were other bands, not only harmonium. They were like bands like Morse Code, Opus 5, for instance. But we when we asked the people over here, because I moved, as I said, 3 years ago. uh, the UK ones, what do you mean? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't have lots of, because I already just made a video on my channel earlier this week, and I already discussed about. But the reason I made this video is because of a good friend of mine in the VC, Mike Vinyl Spiral. And if you haven't watched his video about folk, I hardly recommend, because I was mainly scratching the surface, coming up with with the usual suspects, big names of folk. He was like really deep, like he was like, and this is part one. It's something he never talks about on his channel, and he made a video, really really cool, with lots of underrated, obscure, more obscure artists. Mike Vinyl Spiral. So yeah, it make me wanna gave me the idea of jumping on that. Wasn't even a thread. He only made a video, and I said, "Hey, I would like to do a video about folk." Me too. So this is what I did, and so yeah, I mentioned this band, uh, very important. And after this album, I think Roger Thompson, he left in 71. After that, he made a couple of albums with her wife, Linda Thompson. There is this album called "I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight," which I don't have a copy of, which is pretty interesting. Hey, Sam, nice to see you. How are you? We are talking about folk. It's almost your type of stuff, almost. And I'm not sure what you are thinking of that, because American Assam, if you don't know about this channel, uh, great guy, talking about John Prine, Bob Dylan, the country stuff. But and it's really interesting, the connection with America, UK. It's I find really interesting that though some people like Shirley Collins, she took a trip to the U.S. to grasp a little bit of the essence of the American folk, which were Irish and English people. They settled there 150 years prior. And as you know, you're a big Bob Dylan fan. Bob Dylan and Paul Simon, they took that trip to the UK. Bob Dylan traveled to the UK in winter of '62. He wanted to meet up with Davy Graham and Martin Cauthid. You know that because you're a fan of Dylan. So this connection really interesting, and they started they were nicknamed the British Jefferson Airplane at their beginning. This is the debut album, okay, way different. At the time, they were like covering songs from Bob Dylan. You got it? From Emmett Rhodes, from Johnny Mitchell. So folk, not a, it's not even folk. Was like really like rock with some jazzy influence. But I find really interesting those connection with at the time in the 60s between America and England. I'm not, I'm not. I would love to know about your opinion, your. I know your knowledge. You have a big knowledge, Sam. But what do you think about this? Yeah, about these bands, about Fairport Convention, about those people. They were like close. They were like moving away because they developed their own sound, which serves as a source of inspiration for some of the American artists. It's a back and forth. It's crazy. This is what I really like, and I'm reading this book called Electric Eden, written by Rob Young, and it's crazy. It's loaded with lots of details. People who travel, you know, from the UK to Australia to the US. To I think people wanted to have a greater scope of influence. So some artists. And yeah, it's when you think about that, Paul Simon and Bob Dylan, they went to the UK, when they were like really before they were like really, really, really famous. Yeah, not surprised. I'm not even surprised. Yeah, Richard Thompson. Yeah, absolutely. Lindisfarne is something. Something like really common. I see those records in every dollar bin over here, and I'm I don't think how what I can think of that. Uh, Nick Drake, obviously Nick Drake, yeah, so important, yeah. Only talking about the island, the island. Sorry, yeah, only talk about the island catalog. Yeah, there were so many great artists. Fairport were on island in the UK. Yeah, say Island. Yeah, I know. They were like released on the Island label in the UK, and those artists were released on the A&M label here in North America. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, Nick Drake was on Island, the UK. Um, Cat Stevens, Nick Drake, Fairport Convention, King Crimson, which is not folk, but absolutely, yeah, yeah. But those connection I find really really interesting. And Sandy Denny, this is her solo album she made when she left Fairport. Really really interesting, with lots of who's who of the cream of the crop of the English folk scene of the time. Richard Thompson, Jerry Conway, who sadly passed away and played in so many different bands. Um, Purely folk, easy listening to, relaxing, peaceful, quiet. The North Star, Grassman and the Ravens. Pretty interesting. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And yeah, in my video I made about folk, I mentioned Donovan, because Donovan, another connection. We often compare Donovan to Bob Dylan or with Bob Dylan, uh, mainly because yeah, they were starting pretty much the same, doing their covering some of Lead Belly and Woody Guthrie with their small little hat. Now the future was so many different, but Donovan made a record when he got back from India, because he was with the Beatles in India. He's the one who taught John Lennon how the picking technique, as we can hear on Dear Prudence. And he made a record called The Hurdy-Gurdy Man, which I really like. This psych folk, yeah, an acid folk record, um, which is like a picture of the swing London 60s. When you listen to this record, the heard, I don't have the copy over here, and just in the other room. It's like a green cover, with some flower on the cover, and it's yeah, it's a picture. Really, you had all the elements from the time swing London 60s jazz songs like folk, psych, Indian. It's amazing, really. Donovan, absolutely. And yeah, you're right, Sandy Denny. Yeah, she was credited as the only non Led Zeppelin member who participated on that song called never remember how that song's name. The Yeah. Anyway, not the immigrant song. Maybe someone can help me. Yeah, thank you, Battle of Evermore. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I have a great community. I told you guys, I have a great community. I don't have zillion million subscriber. I only have the best, and you are the best, guys. This is one. This is what important. Okay. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm taking note of that reference. Uh, yeah. Some people. Some people in the UK vinyl community, they don't even mention this band, or it's and it's bad because when you know it's a dollar bin records, doesn't really trigger you to but it's so bad to think like that, because always have this example, this Still I Span, which is a dollar bin records as well. And it's so beautiful that Below the Salt, which I found last month in Toronto, I paid $2 Canadian, so 135 something US. And it's so much of a great record, and you pay $2. So you are not waiting, expecting something like wow. But yeah, still. So and this is probably the same issue I do have with Lindisfarne, because I saw them so much, pretty much everywhere. I think over here in Canada they were pressed. It's like the Strobes. They were pressed over here, and those are those bands. They were so much popular over here in Canada because in the 60s and the 70s, the relation between Eastern Canada and UK, Ireland, Scotland, where like really really close. So lots of people were released over here, and now we can find pretty much everywhere. So but I will yeah, thanks for the tip, Sam. I will definitely check it out, since folk is currently the rabbit hole, one of the rabbit holes I'm delving into, yeah, for sure. And yeah, speaking about the Strobes and Sandy Denny, how about a great transition, right? Um, this is an album also interesting. That's the one she made. Sandy Denny, she recorded this album with the Strobes. Sorry, really have to struggle with allergy tonight. It was pretty bad. I will go through this with like a fighter. Sandy Denny and the Strobes. So prior joining Fairport Convention, she recorded this album in 1968. Wasn't released at the time. For some reason, was released many years later, 74, 73 something. Yeah, 73. Was like, hey, they found some tapes and they released that. So she recorded this one. And she already had some English folk, as her DNA. So you recognize some song like Who Knows Where the Time Goes, which she will be recording again with Fairport, and some folky pop, pastoral, jazzy elements as well. You find this record pretty much everywhere. Yeah, hey, no worries, no worries. Yeah, we'll do maybe another hours play. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, this is yeah, the small batch. To be fair, I made this video about folk. Yeah, I made this video about folk, and including stuffs I recently found, like the Still I Span, the Shirley Collins, and those were the stuff I already had in the collection for a very long time. And when I made a video, it's important to grasp a little bit more, and I needed to dive a little bit deeper into those records again, because even though I know about those albums, it's been a long time, or in my judgment, it was a little bit long time, so I had to put it on the turntable to give it a spin, to have more fresh ideas, you know, for my videos. So I thought it would be interesting to yeah, to share with you about that. So yeah, we have 7 people over here. Yeah, I'll do maybe yeah, up until now it's quarter past 10 over here Eastern. Yeah, maybe another 45 minutes something before hitting the button. If anyone wants to join, just the magic link, not the magic carpet ride, the magic link. If anyone there or is willing to just like this guy done. Yeah, yeah, Al Stewart. That's correct. It's also a folk stuff. Uh, you're right. You're right. I see those record everywhere, and sometimes you see those records everywhere, and you don't pay enough attention until some people hype. And it's what happened with the Blue album from Johnny Mitchell, I guess. When you when I was watching Dylan Noble Records in the COVID, when he's back in the days where his channel was about to skyrocket, he was mentioning this album, that we could find this album pretty much easily. Now it's a $50 record, so who knows where it goes. Yep. So yeah, this is the link. If anyone wants to join, sorry, I have to drink a little bit of water because I talk too much. You see, I have this is my sponsor. That's something my wife made for me. She knew that I was starting to start. I was starting to start that I was about to start a YouTube channel. So we have a library over here, a city hall, and they have some 3D printing machine and some stuff you can use print. Actually, you can print stuff everywhere on a piece of wood, on a mug, on a T-shirt, and she to give me some to encourage me to cheer me up with a project. So this is my lucky mug. Um, so yeah. Um, Other topic? Do you want to see more prog records or other stuffs? What do I have? Uh, what do I have over here? Okay, more Quebecois prog stuff. How about that? Okay, we are back in Quebec by popular demand. Uh, I know. Okay, so just for you and for the other as well, a record I recently bought, and I think I already talked about this record, but worth any mention. This is a Tubabu. This is the prog, and it's interesting because when we are talking about the progressive rock scene in Quebec, You have this branch, okay, with harmonium. The band's pretty much pastoral folk, trying to not to copy. This is not a this is not what I want to say, but I would say inspired by, yes, Genesis, Gentle Giant, and the other branch of those bands were okay. I'm starting from the beginning. Who were in this neighborhood project at the beginning? This is Villemort, and Villemort is a district here in Montreal. I think a portion of the Verdun neighborhood. I think, yeah, Villemort didn't last too long, and this was a band like with there were 40 or 50 people playing, like, a very joyful project. And as I said, Santana, Caravanserai, the early, just to give you some point of reference, the early, yeah, Caravanserai, the early Chicago, maybe, yeah. So jazz, funky jazz stuff, rock. So pretty interesting. And in those bands were lots of people who later went on tour with some pop mainstream artists like Charlebois, for instance, or I think Marie-Michel Desrosiers, who played with Beau Dommage. I think, Julie, you mentioned Beau Dommage. I think she already started because they were basically three three singer, Marie-Michel Desrosiers, Lise Cousineau, and Christiane Robichaud, I think, which you can find. They were like pretty much active in every possible prog rock bands of every kind. So Villemar, that's the same. That's would say the genesis of the adventure. Yeah, where it all started. This one, and I happened to find a live album that they made back in the day. This one, live at Montreal. So crazy, lots of brass section, pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, it is a really good band. And this one's pretty hard to find. And as you see, I found this record at Audio Stop, my friend, making some commercial free for you. um yeah, he runs a store, great store, very priced, beautiful. Shout out to Sebastien. And as I said, after Villemar, were like lots of different, spin-off projects, and one of the most worth mentioning is Contre Action, Contraction, with this Crimsonian design, as we can hear as well. Some jazz fusion, like really, yeah, jazz fusion with Yves Laferrière and some, yeah, Christian Robichaud, yeah, scat, like really like lyrics, beautiful. Contraction, La Bourse ou la Vie. Speaking of Yves Laferrière, the solo album, gifted bass player with also like very loungy, very peacefully, um, with Marie-Michel Desrosiers, yeah, who played later with Beau Dommage and Toubabou, yeah, like yeah, jazz fusion as well, but with like funky African percussion. Really worth a visit. Yeah, Toubabou. Really glad I could find this record I like. And yeah, I also have their debut album from Contraction. A little bit more experimental, more jazz, I would say. Still interesting. Yeah. I found this record in Verdun, so not far from Villemar. So really cool. How about that? Yeah, I am trying to explore the Québécois, prog Québécois from the 70s. because there were so many, yeah, so many great bands. Do you want to see more Quebecois records? Just putting a link in case anybody wants to show. Okay, there we go. More Québécois, progressive Québécois. Yeah, this one is something like really pop. We can find pretty much everywhere. And those are the stickers, the iconic stickers of Au 33 Tours, Au 33 RPMs, the biggest record store we do have here in Montreal. Lots of choice, and yeah, very straightforward. Nothing is too complex. Yeah, it's not like trying to do some 17 minutes. It's in a way prog, but it's accessible prog. I don't know how to say. Okay, this is not prog, but it's a so much important band over here. Offenbach, with by Jerry Boulet, very iconic figure over here. Um, I really like this one. This is the period, when you have like B3 organ, secondal chords, rock, bluesy stuff. In a way, between there were this band called Dionysos. In a way, um, this typical early 70s band, and they made this guy a cover version. I think they were playing in Paris, and they were covering L'Hymne à l'amour by Edith Piaf, and it's my favorite version ever. I'm saying, as a French guy, I have to say my favorite cover versions is made by a Quebecois band, but it's true. It's so much strength, emotion. L'Hymne à l'amour by Offenbach this time. And I think after Offenbach, Jerry Boulet, he made Jerry Boulet. he he made a solo career after that with some great song like mainstream calibrated, tailored made for a mainstream audience. Let's put it like this. And other members formed Corbeau, I think, which is the AOR stuff from the 80s. Corbeau with Marjo. This one is really interesting. I was on the lookout for this one. Like, this is the I had to struggle to find a copy of this one. This is Opus 5, Opus 5, Contre-courant, Counterflow, if you want to translate. And yeah, this reminds me a bit of the French band called Ange. Maybe no one over here will have the reference, but it's fine. And okay, sound a little bit more a la Genesis from the beginning. Gentle Giant a little bit as well. Yeah, interesting. Also interesting. Opus 5, Contre-courant. Yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah. It's not Prague, but it's my Quebecois section. I just took my entire Quebecois Calax unit section in one go. This is a band not from Montreal, because pretty much the scene was really like booming in Montreal. So lots of bands from Montreal or in the surroundings. But this band's from Quebec City, and yeah, it's also a little bit Gentle Giant, symphonic prog, Slush, J'ai un œil, got an eye. There is this other album called Stadacone, which is the old name, the First Nation name of Quebec City, I guess. This one as well sounds like a little bit like it's Floydian, spacey stuff, Pollen. Yeah, from 70. 75 something. Yeah, it didn't last that long. That Prague adventure in Quebec, probably 4 years. Yeah. So yeah, Harmonium, they secured a deal in 73. They recorded first album in 74, and then in 1980 was like the poll. I won't talking about politics, but it's part of that stuff. Why it stopped? Also the Prague. They call it a day probably, and yeah. So let's say 5 years. So it's like really went really quick. Uh, yeah, Poland. Oh, and yeah, one of my favorite, absolutely favorite, rich orchestration, lots of brass section, flutes, um, pretty much instrumental, manège, really beautiful. Like, yeah, really rich orchestration, but not over complex. Yeah, really like les manèges, les Porsche. And this one, Aquarelle. This is something I paid $2 for. Yeah, didn't know much about that. Some people, yeah, I think I made several videos, and some people were like, because I'm reading the comments, and it's not always me talking and sharing; it's also me taking some notes, and I respond to every comments. Yeah, and I have a small channel, so this is what I prefer. Also, talking with you guys, it's much more intimistic. Um, okay, I don't have the day I will have 10,000 subs, it will be different. But yeah, we prefer, and it's really cool to have some feedback, some comments. And I think one guy, he his nickname is Django something, Django 17 something. He once responded, or he left a comment, and he said, "Hey, you have to check, you have to find a copy for yourself of Aquarelle sous un arbre. You will definitely love it." And as far as I remember, I haven't heard that record in a long time. I have to confess. As far as I'm concerned, is a little bit, it's blurring the line between the classical stuff and the jazz. But I might be wrong. I might say some bullshit. So don't listen to what I say. Okay, but give a try. Make yourself your own opinion. Aquarelle sous un arbre. Yep. Yeah, I know. I know. We all do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. If you're mentioning the web page where lots of review or articles are um, saved, available. Manège, ouais. Non, Manège, c'est vraiment bien, hein, effectivement. Manège, it's and yeah, I'm on the lookout for Ni Vent Ni Nouvelle, which has been released, because I know this store au 33 Tours. Uh, I think they helped a project, this return to analog, as we can see pretty much everywhere over here. Those are albums that are finally available, reissued, and some are really rare. So finding a copy, an OG copy, is a challenge. When it might be a go-to, absolutely, but yeah, some are more common, but Manège, yeah. Okay, jazzy, yeah. I'm sorry. I won't say any something any wrong. Simply don't remember. I need to listen to this record again. You say it's more jazzy. Okay, yeah. Yep. Quebec really provided us with so provide still providing But back in the day, and it's fun. But when I talk to my family and friends in France, they have no idea about that. They simply know only about Robert Charlebois, Diane or Céline Dion, the usual suspects. And when I start to say, hey, only 4 years of prog québécois made so many great stuff. Uh, yeah, they simply don't trust me. Okay, that's interesting. So you are saying that those bands are that Manège is still active, right? That Manège is still playing at shows, at concert. That's interesting, because I would love to attend to such a show or a concert. Definitely, yeah, yeah. If they are still active, they play. Maybe they will play in summer festival. Okay, okay, got you. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to. I haven't attended to lots of concert. I mean, lots. Yeah, quite a few of concerts since I moved over here. But yeah, it's okay. I'm off island. I'm not living actually in the on the island of Montreal. I live on the South Shore, and I won't tell you everything about my life. But and it's yeah, it does affect the way I have because sometimes it's like not that easy to commute, to travel from where I live to those area of Place des Arts. Usually concerts do take place, but yeah, I try my best. I try my best, and it's more like when there are those summer festivals or band playing live outdoor. I usually go, spending an evening with my friends, and it's more like small gigs I attend. I usually attend, try to on the in the bars in Saint Denis Street, for instance, that you might know. And okay, Quebec, in Quebec City. Okay, yeah, yeah. I will try to find a way to see those guys, because Fred, Big Star 1000, one of my good VC friend, he made a video, and he also has a French speaking channel, just like no, I don't have a French speaking channel. Uh, he has yeah, secondary channel, whatever, and he once made a video about progressive rock Quebecois, and he's the one who pointed out Manège is really the band I have to look copy of. And Théâtre Outremont. Okay, okay, okay. I see. Okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. Barely have the chance to go in that in those district. Yeah. I usually go to Verdun whenever I am. I do have some friends in Ville-la-Salle, Verdun, Villemar. Yeah, Villemar actually. And so those are my spots when it comes to and it's much more easily to park the car in Verdun, uh, on Le Plateau as well. That's the places where all the record stores are. So but Outremont, or Westmount, or other place like Hochelaga. It's not. Yeah, I don't go there that often. Okay, interesting, interesting. So, like recently, like something like new. Théâtre Outremont, ouais. Okay. Yeah, I've only heard of that venue, but okay. Hey, thanks for the tip. Thank you very much for sharing with us all these details. Much appreciated. You should really start your own channel. I think you will have some really nice, interesting stuff to to say. Yeah, yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I'm expecting the weather to be a little more pleasant. You know, to have a chance to spend some evening. Yeah, no, really, yeah, yeah. Because I saw you comment on other people's video, and you always bring something really interesting to the table. Really like, you know, focus on the discussion, and it's pleasant. It's really cool. We have 6 people over here. Why why having a big channel? Why having 1,000 people? Having some 2,000 people in the chat? You don't have time to respond. Now it's perfect. It's really really perfect. Okay, moving on to another topic, if you want to. Yeah, jazz fusion. Um, that's something interesting. I was mentioning the Mahavishnu Orchestra and the Chick Corea Return to Forever. This week, I was keen to listen to this record once again. Yep, we shared with some friends from the French vinyl community. They had no idea about this record. They were asking about Canterbury prog stuff, which could be a nice entry point. So not that too over the top, you know, too much of experimental. And I say this is the go-to. This is yeah, one of my favorite Canterbury prog album. Uh, Everything is like well balanced. It's not like performing, over performing, showing too much muscles. No, it's pretty really nice with this typical saturated organ sound as you can find pretty much everywhere. Yeah, Caravan in the Land of Green Pink, 70 71 something. I don't even know. Yeah, don't even know. Or 70. Yeah, recording in September 70. Yeah, really really beautiful album. And the next one is a little bit related, as those are members. They were part of Egg, Gong, Khan, right? And Caravan as well. And you have Robert Wyatt, and this is yeah, this like really jazzy, smoothie, progressive prog contemporanean, blurring the line between improvisation and really written section, right, written parts. Yeah. So Hatfield and North, really really worth a try, really worth a visit. Debut album, I think. I happened to find a copy on the Virgin label. And to continue a little bit, if you don't mind, the series, keeping on the same thread. This one, this is a 78 prog contemporanean with some with the same usual suspect, David Sinclair, Bill Pyle. Was intended to be a very ambitious project with 9 musicians, with how many, I don't know how many guitar player, ended up to be like more simple, um and yeah, prog contemporary as well, but like as I said, really really accessible. Yeah, with saturated organ, also blurring the lines, yeah, between what we could feel like this is an improvisation section, and oh no, this has been written. Uh, national health record from '78, recording in a mobile studio from John Anderson. They had hard time securing a record deal, finding the right people were about to do the project. So yeah, the Canterbury, um, this one as well. Yeah, with still some psyche, some humor, some funny elements. Caravan, not a bad way to start, right? If you wanna if you wanna discover the prog contemporary stuff, not a bad way to start. Caravan, and yeah, this one, uh, obviously, yeah, Robert Wyatt. Uh, I have hard time to describe what's on that record. It always to me, I always have a mixed feeling about joy and sadness. Yeah, joy and sadness. It's so much of a fragility. What we can hear. It's wouldn't say it's jazz. Wouldn't say it's prog. It's rock bottom. It's rock bottom. Yep. So yeah, how about that? How about that? The the classic Soft Machine 4. I think Robert Wyatt was still in the band, uh, evolving to our more pop stuff. Yeah. Yep. I agree. I totally agree. Hey, we have 9 people in the chat, so now the right time to propose, to invite, to propose, not to propose. Bad translation. I'm already married, but to propose in French, it's to invite people. This one, I recently got a hold of a copy of this one. I have hard time getting into that. Uh, I was curious because Brian Robert Fripp could be any wrong. Uh, much more ambient. I really have hard time, as much as I love Tangerine Dream, Phaedra, which is nothing to compare. Agree. I have hard time to grasp the and it served maybe as a getaway because he was like Robert Brian Eno. I think he was already famous at the time, so people could follow him. He was already a name that we could like recognize. So probably served as a hoovering some people into the other territories he wanted to explore, or he wanted to ensure that those stuff like ambient were more popular. Yep. Yep. This is a selection, and yeah, an artist also I like to delve more into John Wetton. What a voice, and Eddie Jobson, a violin player. This is a 81 something project. Interesting as well. This is not Canterbury, and how could this? Uh, yeah, jazz prog, early 80s jazz fusion rock, progressive. Absolutely. it looks very like modern. This record has been released. This is an OG copy I got from 1974 or something, or 1970. Don't even know. Wow, 73. Yeah, yep, 73. Pristine copy. Yeah, we like the song. Um, third uncle, probably released around the same period. Uh, but yeah, you I will make myself big. I am big. I am already big. I'm. Yep. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's too bad it's not a gatefold. Imagine he would have been so great to be able to unfold the beauty. Yeah, this one. Yeah, it's as I said, John Wetton, an artist. I would love to have more style of. This one I found last year as well. This is um, I think the second or third album after Rock Bottom. Still in the same vein as Rock Bottom, probably with less melancholy, I would say. Great design, right? Just yeah. Yep, those are cool stuff from the UK, not the classic symphonic prog section or drawer or whatever you want to call it, but the Canterburyan contribution. And yeah, this one is a little bit more odd rock. I have no idea about. I knew he was playing with not with Kiss, with with Roxy Music with Kiss. Come on, and yeah, it's really like avant-garde. I was like really shocked when I saw the credit. John Wetton played Robert Brian Eno, Robert Wyatt, Eddie Jobson, Ian McDonald, Dave Jarrett. Danny helped Brian Turrington. How about that? Yeah. And this is intended to be a bad pressing, believe it or not. when you when you do some research, we found in the U.S. last year we are very so close with the Vermont, as I often mention. So I often go to Burlington, Vermont, and I found myself this copy on the 8 Cole label. Okay, and when I was searching for details about this pressing, the first information that popped was that it's a bad pressing. Uh, it's say, hey, we recommend that you find yourself a British copy. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? I play the record. I have nothing to compare with. It's fine. So yeah, if I find one OG UK, expecting will be it will sound better, but you know I have nothing to compare with. I have no CD, no maybe I can find Spotify, but physical form wise, I have nothing to compare. So, and I pay 10 bucks, yeah, US in Vermont. So great place. I really like to go to Vermont. They have some great store. It's not a big city. It's not don't know how many population, but yeah, there are 2 or 4 places I really like to go to. Burlington Records is one of them. Decent world music, jazz section. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Robert Wyatt is something I need more record of. I'm on the lookout for years. I've been on the lookout for years for the matching molds stuff he made back in the day. Never. I think I stumbled upon a copy last year. I think at the record show here in Montreal, but it was not in a good condition, so I just put it on the side. But those are not like super rare, super duper rare copies. So yeah, my time will come. I was like also on the lookout for such stuff in Den Bosch. Yeah, it's it's pretty weird. My goal when I took my trip to Den Bosch last, not the Den Bosch last sessions Den Bosch, which took place when we last weekend, not last year, November last year, and I wanted to find to on the very high on the wish list was like, yeah, Canterbury and Prague, krautrock. I thought, okay, Netherlands, Germany, lots of people, lots of sellers from Germany. I will have a chance to find some krautrock. But oh yeah, I found some krautrock, but price were like not really, not really good. It is. It is the second and the third, and those are the only album I never saw a decent copy, an OG press at a decent price. Mm, you're absolutely right. Yeah, yeah. You told me about that. Yeah, yeah. And you told me also because these guys knows a lot about difference between quality of pressings, and you were you remember you came up with on the Ian's ranking the obscure live stream, I think last year, and you made a very useful comment. I still have the print screen of that comment you made. You were talking that the in Canada they were like a quality pressing in Calgary and another for Atco, and another they had another plant in close to Toronto. And the only way you can, at a glance, you can differentiate the two is with the first letter. I think with the Q stands for quality pressings, and these other letters I don't just on the top of my head means this is pressings from the other plants in yeah, in eastern Canada. Remember, really realize we should once you and I do a stream about Canadian pressing. Yeah, yeah, the adventure, because what happened over here is pretty interesting when you think about that. When you think about what happened in Montreal, quality of the materials we had in the we had the yeah we I'm here. Um, and now it's pretty bad, when an artist he records an album, he can sense to he want his record to be pressed on vinyl. So in Montreal, yeah, we can do the mastering steps, but we don't have any plating lab, which means that it has to go to Europe or to the US and came back, to be pressed. So we don't have this whole chain which we used to back in the day. So it's pretty bad. So we cannot do the whole locally. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was completely away. Yeah. Sorry if you are expecting me talking about RSD. We can. Whenever, if anyone wants to join, like this is what this guy did. This guy, he came up. He joined my panel. I think 30 minutes ago. He showed his record freshly baked. No, yeah, that had he bought in the context of a record store day, and it was really like appreciated. So if anyone wants to do the same, no worries. We can talk about it whenever, whatever you want, music or record related. It's better. I have to drink. It's water. Yep. So now it's 2 hours. Yeah, I will do. I will be waiting if anyone wants to join. Maybe do another maybe 15 minutes. I say 2 hours, but I see that some people recently joined. Okay, yeah, no worries. We can take our time. Maybe do the right things at the right time. I would like to do this because you have so much of a knowledge. When it comes to what happened here, you have a great collection. That's one. Plus, yeah, your shit actually, and simply what happened in Canada. This is not something. I try to find some books, and even when I was like living in France back in the day, and I'm not sure if there are some very good books about the adventure. The car manufacturing. You find pretty much everything when you are in Germany. You find it's amazing how many books you can find on that subject. But for some reason, no one had the brilliant idea of doing taking the minutes into doing a documentary, and it's a pity because every country has its pro and cons. In Europe, we I grew very close to the border with Germany and Switzerland. So I grew up with literally three different approaches, sound qualities, since the vinyl records we had. Um, okay, we had lots of French stuff because we were in France, but lots of German as well, and you could feel the difference. And sometimes in the 80s, I remember, as silly as it may sound, a French artist on certain label was better to find the Dutch pressing, the Dutch release. Yeah, the record press in the Netherlands. The spatialization, the mastering was so bad on some records, even though we, we are talking about local artists, because they didn't master, that stuff. So when you compare records, French, pop mainstream stuff from the 80s, if we compare French records, French pressing over a German or a release from the Netherlands, you can really feel the difference. Sometimes it's awful. Yeah. Yeah, but we have to we will take really our time, and we will just think about that maybe in the future. uh Try to contact me privately if you can, if you want to. My email, uh, as you know, it's yeah, we should work out something together. Would be interesting, I think. Yeah, because you're a great contributor to the vinyl community, and you know a lot, and people like when we don't talk about we talk about stuff we know about. So yeah, putting a link in the chat. Pretty cool. It's 11 p.m. right now. Uh, it's like spring, I think. It's not that cold, I think, outside. First time I could let my window a little bit open. How about that? Finally, springtime. Yeah, we'll be having a great time for. Hope you guys will have a great time for Easter, for the Easter weekend. Uh, Finding lots of Easter eggs, maybe in the collection or maybe elsewhere. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty pleasant because we had some great deal of snow last winter. I have to say, it was really not that cold. Okay, if I talk to a guy from California, it's cold. Absolutely, no, it wasn't that cold. But yeah, we had snow. We had really like lots of snow. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I saw that, but no politics on this channel, please. We can relate to politics, of course, when we talk about, and it's that's the topic we usually have because if some of the French people, they like to talk about everything, politics, ports, their wives, they talk. French people, they do talk, okay, out loud. And sometimes, okay, it's pretty hard to not mention the political backgrounds of s- of an album, of an artist, or of a record, because it's so much of an importance when we talk about progressive rock in Quebec, when we talk about free jazz, when we talk about tropicalism in Brazil. Yeah, we have to relate a little bit what was happening by the time the music was played, what was happening some miles apart, but yeah, that's that is a topic. Yeah, election time. Yeah, I want to be elected. It was a great song by Alice Cooper, I guess. Yeah, I want to be elected on the Alice Cooper band. Not a great band I used to be into. Alice Cooper uh, was a massive, not massive fan, but when I was 16, yeah, these billion dollar babies. Yeah, this early stuff. Really like Mr. Alice Cooper, real name Vincent Damon Fernier. Yep, and yep, yeah, I can imagine how entertaining, how great must be to witness a show live. Yeah, I totally imagine. Yeah, yeah, I never had the chance to see him live. No, I saw Scorpions live. Not the same. Not the same. So yeah, we have 6 people in the chat. So yeah, maybe you can share what kind of stuff you are like into right now. If there is a specific artist or a band you just rediscovered, or an LP, highly on my channels, the details. But it's pretty much simple. It's frenchvineaddict@gmail.com, all in one word, small. Yep. Um. Yeah. Um. What I was about to say. Yeah. So if anyone wants to share, the record that is highly rotating on his turntable. Old Leaf, the French band. Okay. Now you are teaching me, Julie. Old Leaf. Okay, I was talking about pro Quebecois bands you all know about, and you are talking to me about something I never heard of. Old Leaf. Mm. And it's a French band. Okay, interesting. No worries. No worries, mate. Old Leaf. I will do some research because I know you are connected. You follow. Okay, very good, happy album. Okay, so something like really like upbeat, like poppy. Yeah, I'm kind of disconnected from the modern. Just speaking like my grandmother, from the latest mainstream scene from France. Lots of gigs festival were canceled during the COVID, and this is by the time I was preparing my move to Canada. So when I got over here, I never got to go back during summertime in France. I went back to see my family in France a couple of times, but it was always so early spring or mid-November or something. Not a crazy time. For a festival and concerts. So when I plan to travel to France, I know it's not a good time for such stuff. So I'm not like keen to browse. Okay, because it's so freaking expensive. To go back. Yeah, to travel to France in the summertime. And if I would go to the summer, I will definitely, um, keep informed about what are the concert, the gigs available. But yeah, but this doesn't help me either. I'm so yeah, I'm so not on the same page with yeah, as I say, with if you are mentioning those new stuff, French stuff or European, I complete disconnect. I shouldn't have, the thing is we have these streams with Stanley, as I say, every Sunday morning we host live streams in French, and the French vinyl community, the French based vinyl community members are a little bit younger than the international, let's put it like this. But they don't talk too much about um, yeah, it's, I don't know, New Prague. Now you are talking. But no, I will be checking out definitely the this Old Leaf. Yep, sound like interesting. But yes, so many stuff and so many reference. Um, as I said, like I happened to watch Ben Ranking's video, which he made when he talked. Welcome back, sir. This is a guy you can trust. He said he will be back, and he's back. So not only you can trust him, but you can also watch him doing some improvised, beautiful concert. And this is really, really, really what I like. Sometimes I'm about to put a record on the turntable, and I got this notification, and I say, okay, the record is, you could play a little bit later, but the concert live is now. And it's important to support, the people in the community. So doesn't always work, because sometimes I had to go outdoor, I have to go grocery. But whenever I can, I try to support this guy when he starts to play with his guitar for a little group of people who are in the chat, just like you guys. And yeah, his channel, yeah, really like his channel. Tron Lou Blanc. Yes, I mean it. I mean it. And I'm so mad that I won't be have a chance to meet up with you this summer, but for good reasons. So that's fine. The better reason. That's the very good reason. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I would say another 15 minutes. Maybe we'll yeah, up until 2 hour 30 something. Yeah. Yeah, not another 15 minutes. Then I will be hitting the button because it's I already had one guy with me on the panel, but looks like I was expecting some other friends, but it's fine. Like it's like Easter weekend. Didn't know, to be honest, if the time is right, if it's the right slot. But oh, hey, absolutely, absolutely, and it's you will be more than welcome, definitely. Last year I was just talking about Ben Rankings. As you know, he came over from the land down under to visit us. First leg of the journey was Vancouver. He met up with Vinyl Martini, with Jack, our VCS gentleman, and then he made a stop in Toronto, and I drove down to meet up with him. It was such a pleasant day, and I really liked those kind of event. And it was bad because we were supposed to meet up with Rob, Northern Revolution, but he couldn't make it because this guy works a lot. And yeah, so yeah, it's and I think Toronto would be a great place for you, Sam, especially because you are. I think you have this special connection with Glenn Calloway from the basement. I'm not like telling something wrong. I think, and yeah, doing Brian, Rob. So great guys, like settles to integrated Toronto area. So let me know if you plan to make a trip. I have to organize myself because Montreal, Toronto is not like next door. So yeah, I have to make sure it will. But yeah, I will love to. Absolutely, I will love to. And we are also discussing with Olivier, another fellow member from the Canadian Quebecois vinyl community, whatever, the Vinyl Montreal Lounge, and maybe, uh, yeah, organizing, asking our VC friends if they want to come up, or do sort of VC meetup in October. Why October in Montreal? Because in there is this record show. It's not a big record show, but still interesting, and might be a good idea. So we are like brainstorming on that idea, seeing if it's possible, if people would like to, yeah, to travel. I think would be interesting because this record show is on the Le Plateau, which is a neighborhood on the island in Montreal, not far from other record stores. So we would be really cool, like to combine, uh, day of the record show doing that, maybe the day prior, day after. Uh, yep. Hey, as I said, Olivier came up with the idea in the chat when I was doing a stream once. He was say, "Hey, Romuald, how about that? How about we ask our friends if they want to come for the specific event?" And it sounds like good idea because the weather is still still no, it's still okay. It's really nice. Sometimes in late October, weather is perfect, not too hot, not cold. I think it's also finding tickets cost less than in summer, I guess. So it's like perfect. It's like all boxes are ticked. So we are, yeah, and you can, yeah. There is this yeah, I'll be sharing some picture. I made a picture. I think I just went to some stores. When I don't remember. Ba, 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 ba. Yep. Yeah, this record show, because I'm mentioning the record show in October or in fall or autumn. But there is this other one. Come. Oh, hey, nice to see you.
FEA, what's going on?
Yeah, not too bad. Just chatting with friends. Nothing real planned. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I was at an event that I had to go to this evening, and I was actually getting ready for bed, but I'm like, yeah, I can hop on for a bit because I'm not fully tired yet, and
That's nice of you to reduce your sleeping time for me.
well, it's the sacrifice for the art, that they always talk
Oh,
about. Um,
yeah.
so this is like my trudging it out to you know
Huh.
late at night. But no, I'm happy to do it, and I've been kind of craving the last few nights to do some sort of live stream kind of thing. I know, obviously I was on Rob's for so long, which used to be Glenn's on Wednesday nights, and life just got super busy. So you
Yeah.
know, I had to back out of it. Alex had to back out of it for different reasons, and you
Uh,
know, not that I had anything, against doing it, but it was like I just didn't have the time. But the last couple of weeks, I've been like, I kind of miss doing it. But
know what?
anyway,
I know what you're talking about. I will. To be honest, I will be. Yeah, I'm enjoying some last days of freedom. I won't be talking about that in public, but I will have some changes like upcoming. So good changes, really good changes.
you're
I'm
no
going.
longer going to be a vinyl addict. You're just going to sell it all.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, lots of things will change privately, work.
Mm,
So the next weeks or month will be like really really busy for me and my wife. So yeah, we just took the opportunity. Now it's Easter and we have time, but yeah, I know how it is. We are young people. Sometimes we face the challenge to get a new job or to do something different, to move to another city, and
mhm.
it's cannot really fully dedicated because YouTube is a time consuming machine.
Yes,
When you want to do this thing correctly, not only doing your own video, responding to every comment you get, but also supporting the community. It's a full time job.
it can be. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you, it's kind of. And I was just talking to a couple of friends about this because, like, I really am trying to. I've kind of become disappointed with some of how my last few videos have had any kind of they haven't had any kind of impact. And like some of them, like I, put effort into with research or, um, just extra
Uh,
time and promotion and that kind of thing. And um, yeah, like you get in those phases where, do I take a break? Do I,
uh,
try to clear my head from the whole YouTube thing? But, at the same time, you're like, well, if I do that, then maybe the channel will kind of fall to the wayside and gets out of the algorithm. And like if you're interested in that kind of thing, obviously most of us are just happy to talk about the music,
yeah.
um, but there's also that little bit of all of us that we all put ourselves out there. Everybody that has a channel in some way has that part of not ego sounds hard, but like you have to have something to take that step of turning the phone or the camera on and saying, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna put myself out there and, take if there's any kind of criticism, you're kind of saying, you know, I'm making myself public. Therefore, there can be good things and bad things said, but at the end of the day, it's mostly good.
Yeah, it is, and I think it changes for me as well. Like, we up north, we are starting to enjoy the nice weather. So starting to spend a little bit more of time outdoor, so less time on YouTube. Winter is over, so yeah, probably it's the same pretty much everywhere. So people are keen to spend less time watching YouTube related content and having a real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, nothing bad, nothing bad. I will hope to switch back to the active mode within a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's just simple as that. And I know I won't have time. I love to host streams. I have to spontaneous stuff or things I've planned like lots of week before when I say people, hey, you from Australia, UK, America, come on my panel.
Hmm.
It's so much great, and I'm not sure about the MGKs. You won't be able to make it anyway, but not even sure if I could make it this time. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I know that there are a lot of people that are they haven't given a solid answer yet. I mean, I know a lot of people have given a solid answer.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I know that yeah, work is crazy for people. And yeah,
yeah.
when they announced the actual date, I was kind of like, yeah, I've got another event that day.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, so I can't miss that one.
no, not no, no,
Things would
no,
not be good.
no. No, you're right. But there will be plenty more occasion. I think this old VC meetups. We can talk about that. Yeah, I was records show in October. Maybe it would be a good idea, to convince people. Um, WFMU might be also interesting since it's in the US. It's on the East Coast. Yeah. Hey, who knows?
Yeah.
How about your RSD? Do you were like Alex, like really happy? No.
I was not. I was happy. Yeah, I got four. Well, on RSD itself, I had four. I got four titles, and I
Hmm.
have two that are in the mail now. That should be, these online stores. When you put in everybody's ordering. Sunday morning. I think everything went live like at 8 a.m. On Sunday. So I ordered two more pieces, and then I've got a friend who's telling me about that Elvis Costello
Okay. Yeah.
live from 1989, and he sent me some songs. And Ben Tench from the Heartbreakers is in that band. Jim Keltner is in that band, and I'm like, it's $42, double record. I'm like, ugh.
Mhm.
But no, I was happy with the pieces that I got. I have a friend who picked up one, the Tom Waits 45 for me. So I'll be getting that at some point. Um, yeah, I mean, Marty Stewart was the big one for me, the surf rock instrumental album. And then the other pieces I was happy with. But I mean, I would have been just really happy with that Marty Stewart. So I grabbed that first and then did like the second run through. It was funny because flipping back through the second time in the new Arrival bin for Record Store Day,
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I not even see these titles before? Because they were ones that they were the ones that I wanted, but I was so focused on finding that number one piece that I flipped over like my number two and my number three item. Like I let them go to find that number one, and then I grabbed the number one and went back
Mhm.
and scouted out again. But again, my store, as I've said on my channel, it's not much bigger than like an average, like bedroom size. I mean, it's not a big store. It's a little hole in the wall kind of
Okay.
joint. And obviously you had, like I'm sure you did, you had your, Taylor Swift fans and like the fans of like the modern pop stuff that was being put out.
Yeah, as I said, I didn't have a chance to go to the local stores on Saturday. I was like really really busy, so I'm completely stay away, and I had three titles. When I was starting to look, I was on lookout for this album, but in the meantime, I found an OG copy. So problem solved. This is an OG copy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Canterburyan prog jazz rock fusion '78 British
Uh,
stuff. The only two albums I would like to grab are the Harvey Mandel, with the snake that cover.
Mm.
And the one Alex got himself this progressive pop South American Chile stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm I had an OG copy in Den Bosch, so the big fair in the Netherlands. Condition was really bad. Price was absolutely not decent. So I put it on his side, and now it's the fact that it has been reissued. Would love to find it, but as I said, I was like away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see Scott in the comments. He's also backing up the Elvis Costello. And that's what I keep hearing these people say. And the thing is, like, I am very new to Costello. So I'm like, if if I had more of his records, like maybe I'd be like, oh, I'd be more prone to go ahead and pick that up. Um, but at the same time, it's got some of my favorite musicians in the group that are playing with him because that was like his Americana era was the King of America record. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, I'm like, ugh. It's like for me right now, number one on my want list is that Nick Drake 5 Leaves Left box set that they just announced.
yeah. I still, yeah, yeah. Could only agree. It's how agree. I saw an OG copy in Den Bosch. It's simply crazy. We are talking about four net figures and a number.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I don't have I used to have a CD, I think, on that album on vinyl. No, the good thing is it his those are official release on the Universal Island,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's an absolutely masterpiece. I'm really into folk right now, the English folk.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more melancholic. I'm more into John Martin, to tell you the truth. John
Yeah.
Martin, the
Yeah.
jazz, is, yeah. Nick Drake, it's I think it's something we will. It's an essential, but I can always have a chance to come back
Yeah.
to that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, John Martin. I remember he's one of those guys. Like I'll listen to him a little bit and then forget about him. But then I know that the song that always draws me back is "Over the Hill."
yeah,
I'm like, golly, that's a great tune. And
yeah.
obviously, Clapton kind of brought him to the forefront with "May You Never," like doing that song, making
The,
a big hit out of it.
the live in Leeds is very interesting with its echo rec on big correct that adds a delay, creates a sound effect,
Mm,
and yeah, Solid Air is the album
hmm
we keep on talking, and yeah, there were so many talking about folk. It's yeah, and that book Electric Eden, I think I convinced Glenn Calloway to buy.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, because he's into Americana banjo player as well, so I
Hmm
might find interesting to know what was going on in the in he knows about Pentagon for Pro Convention as well, the usual suspect, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's and yeah, I started to dive by the labels and talking about folk. There were lots of, as you know, Vanguard was really important. Rounder, Folkways records. There were so many great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, rounder is one of those things that I'd be interested to know like how many original rounder records are up in Montreal, because even around here, you think these record stores that buy collections from some old guy down the road who is selling his records, or his wife is selling his records, and he's got all these old country
Yeah,
bluegrass type records. Because when I where I'll be moving after my wedding in July. There's a few different places, and actually, funny enough, my favorite record store there is owned by a Frenchman. He
a
moved
good,
here in 2012, I think. But
a good guy. It is a good guy.
a good guy. He's bald though. He doesn't have the FEA hair. But
Still a good guy.
a good guy. No, he's cool. Because I went in there and I bought a rounder record. Well, actually, I bought just the one. It was called the Bluegrass album, and it was essentially a super group of all these rounder artists: Tony Rice,
Mhm.
Doyle Lawson, I think Jerry Douglas, the dobro player who plays with Alison Krauss now, is on there a little bit. And he had one on his wall, and it was $40, and a lot
Yeah,
of times. Go ahead.
yeah. I never see those rounder over here.
Yeah, and that's the
Never.
thing. Like you would think down here, because I asked him, I was like, I said, how? Because I asked him, I said, can you come down on that at all? I mean, $40, and he's like, nah. He's like, that's kind of rare, and like I knew. I mean, he was right. It's rare, but I was thinking like around here you would see more of it. And he kind of claimed, he's like, I see some of that stuff quite a bit, but it goes so fast. I think is the issue.
Oh, wouldn't work. This is shit.
That's okay.
Folkways Record. As you can see, they had two locations, one
Uh-huh.
in New York and one in Montreal. They had actually two offices,
Oh, okay.
So I just found this information, and I will be like diving a little bit deeper to find out because here it's a little bit weird. We are not too far from Vermont, but it's the French-speaking part, so we do have lots of Canadian press. Toronto is maybe different to some extent. Um, yeah, I'm just starting. Vanguard I find pretty much easily. I recently found Buffy St. Mary, OG.
Mhm.
We pay 15 Canadian, so 10 US dollars, nothing. Rounder, yeah, never see those records. Rounder. But yeah.
Well, it was. I mean, you were talking earlier before I had to leave, talking about Lindisfarne and dollar bins. I
Yeah.
I, I don't ever see a Lindisfarne record anywhere near here, which is hilarious that that's so common up there.
It is the strobes, those stuff. Yes. It is. But yeah, I don't know how to think about that. I even asked the guy from the UK violin community, and wouldn't say it's in very essential
Mm,
folk bands. Yeah, but there are so many stuff when you folk is so much of uh, only the island label. When I was mentioning earlier, all the artists they were released on the UK and the island label, it's so amazing.
yeah.
uh, yeah. Yep. So hey, I will be hitting the button. Thanks for everyone. Thanks for you, Sam, for finishing off the task.
Yeah, I just had to come on and show my face at the end. Yeah.
Pretty much appreciated. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.